On that note, Emmanuel Toll mentions 43 dead, Olive, around the country. 27 in Nairobi alone. On the couch today in the House is the governor of county number 047.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you, Gov.
Good to see you,
Thanks so much for your time. I know you've been busy running around, up and down.
Yeah.
Apologize for what's been going on.
But more so to those who've lost loved ones and property. It's a really sad situation, tough situation. I think pole kwao zaidi.
Yeah. Gov, in your county, do you feel a sense of responsibility for what you just talked about? The loss of life, the loss of property. Do you feel a sense of responsibility?
Of course, Jeff. In as much as a lot of this goes into decades of, issues of planning, the city really was built on a swamp, But I'm the one who's in charge now.
Yeah.
And in as much as the many of these roads, waterways are not even under the county government, which is why we've now come together with the national government to say, look, let's solve this. Let's not just point blame. Let's get the professionals who we have, engineers, planners, the architects, etc., to say, look, what is a lasting solution? Of course, what we costed last year was too much for the county. 25 billion. When you're running a 40 billion budget, salaries and all that, the county cannot do it on its own.
Yeah.
And that's why we need more resources. And I'm glad that now we are moving towards that. If you look at the river regeneration project, because remember, Nairobi is a city built around the rivers. Ngong River, Nairobi River, and Mathare River. If you look at the 1928 master plan of Nairobi, actually the colonialists at that time created a buffer zone next to the rivers, because normally a river should be, the frontage of the city, but it was hidden. And they created a green buffer zone where you have all these informal settlements. And that's why when it rains, it's not Muthaiga, it is not, Karen, etc. It is Mukuru, it is Mathare, it is Kibera, it is all of those settlements. And so the work we're doing currently, for instance, if you look at the 54-kilometer trunk, Siwa and the drainage works, that cost 50 billion, an amount that, of course, the county could not do on its own. Is going to sort it out.
Governor, let me get to that in a moment. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yes.
I left Hot 96 at about 7:05, 7:10.
Yeah.
Got into my car. I was driving home. Friday night, It was pouring. It was pissing down with rain.
Very heavy, the heaviest rainfall in a lot.
I got home at midnight.
Yeah.
8 kilometers. I got home at midnight. People left here at 6, they got home at 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's terrible, Gov.
But we must solve it. This is not a problem that has just started.
But you know what, Gov? If you were in Japan and you were the county governor of a county in Japan, you'd have resigned.
It wouldn't solve it. It's a problem that's been there for long. I remember being stuck during the El Nino rains as a child in school. Yeah. And being marooned for hours until very late at night in 1997. Jeff, leadership is to provide solutions. Leadership is not about blaming. Leadership is not about just, Jeff, we have to make tough decisions. The same people who cry foul when we evict those on the riparian are the same ones now making noise.
Yeah.
Jeff, their houses. I saw a member of parliament, an aspirant, showing First Avenue Parklands, where you've canalized the water. We must sit with those developers and say, look, something's got to give, And so it's a problem of our own making. A lot of what blocks the drainage, and we've tried, we've hired 4,500 Green Army who are out there and clogging every single day, but who dumps in those, drains? Who is littering in those drains? We provided bins, but you'll still see there's a responsibility that all of us must bear. But we'll sort it out once and for all. We must be the generation that sorts out the problem, not remembers the problem and leaves it for somebody else.
Okay, you mentioned drainage, Governor.
Yes.
Drainage failed. Waterways failed.
Yeah.
I mean, what went wrong?
The drainage that we have, Jeff, is not built for this capacity of rain. And I clearly, and I think you showed it in the story before, explained the sheer amount of money that is needed, to expand it to a rapidly urbanizing city. It's not money that the county on its own can be able to get. Remember also there are different categories of roads. I saw flooding on top of the expressway. That is not a county road. Mombasa Road is not, Jogo Road, Juja Road, Timor, Mbagathi or Raila Odinga Way. But you see, we must work together. Tomorrow, for instance, I'm chairing, the first meeting of the implementation committee where I have the PSs, PS Roads, PS Energy, PS, all relevant people to say, look, let's come come together, because devolution is not a competition. It is for us to say, this is why we needed that cooperation, Jeff. And I always said it for a long time. I have said it here, I said it when I was senator, that the capital city cannot be organized just based on the share of revenue that it gets like other counties. And that's why Article 6 of the Urban Areas and Cities Act provided an opportunity for us to get additional funding. Look at 80 billion to sort out a problem. And so we must look at these solutions. And I've seen a lot of commentary out there. I've seen a lot of professionals, saying we want to come and be part of this. Come, let's figure it out and let's sort it out. So next year it's going to rain again. A few months later it's going to rain again. But how do we have a lasting solution, not a quick fix?
Gov, let's not forget illegal developments on riparian land.
They have to go down, Jeff.
Huh?
Now they have to go down. Honestly.
Yeah.
Those 27 lives lost, you cannot compare them to the cost of those developments. These developments, and I'll give you an example. Up on Oludume Road, there's a development, there's an estate. And last year, the year before when it flooded, I went to. And it was terrible. They were complaining. They were up in arms. It had flooded their houses. And as I walked in, I spoke to even some former county officials living there. And then we went around, we found that they've actually diverted Kirichwa Ndongo, the Kirichwa River, themselves, with their fence at the back. And I told them, look, this then needs to go down. And they're like, no, it's okay. Please don't. It's flooded in 97, it flooded, just leave it. We can't have our cake and eat it. Those difficult decisions must be made, and we must do those things. And you see, now we have the organization, the framework through the cooperation to actually get these things done together.
Are you going to do it, Are you going to do it?
I'll do it. I have to do it. I have no choice.
Gov, 48 hours ago, the flooding was all over the city.
Yeah.
You have not appeared at all on screen anywhere in 48 hours. This is the first time you're appearing on Sunday Live. This is the first time.
Jeff,
where have you been?
When such a thing happens, you have to coordinate rescue. I've been with the ministry, I've been with my teams, we've been all over all the 17 sub-counties. And sometimes when I myself appear, when there's a rescue, the focus shifts. I'm not a firefighter. I'm not somebody to... Why would I make it more difficult for those officers who are working? And they're doing a good job, and there are many of them. Jeff, if you ask the Minister of Public Service, if you ask the NDOC, we've been on constant communication. My teams, yesterday we met with the Kura people, the Urban Roads Authority, the KENHA, National Highways Authority. And in such a situation, you need to think about the people affected. How do you respond to them instead of just looking for optics and PR? It would be very easy to just wear gumboots and walk around and look busy, yet taking away focus on what is actually being done, or what needs to be done.
All right. Yeah. But Red Cross has been doing a really good job.
We're working with them. And our teams, the 4,500 have been out there, our disaster teams, etc. We're working with Dr. Idris from Red Cross, the emergency rescue. Our numbers are out there. We've actually issued them. And Jeff, let me tell you, if we hadn't moved those who were on Nairobi River and Ngong River last year, the numbers would have been far worse. It would have been crazy.
Really?
Yes, and that's why we're insisting on that 60-meter riparian. A lot of it has been done. People are asking, why have you done it only on the lower level? Kileleshwa, Lavington, all the way up, we're coming. We have to do it, And so we've been doing what's needed to be done, Jeff. But it's all something that you can just... And of course, I know in such a situation, it's natural to look for a scapegoat or someone to blame, and I'll take that.
You are the scapegoat.
Yeah, it's okay, Jeff, because I'm in charge. Yeah. So in as much as some of them are in the purview of national government, I'll bring them together. I'll bring everyone together, and that's what we've been doing. That's why I've been chasing that agreement for the last 3 years, because the city can't do it on its own.
Gov, I'm going to take a break, come back, talk some more, but that agreement, that ties your hands.
No.
This is like the old NMS.
No.
Under
Jeff,
general body.
Which situation?
It's NMS 2.
No. Jeff, first of all...
Hold on. Hold that thought.
It's a law.
Hold that thought. Governor Bay is in the house. Sakaja Johnson, my friend.
Yeah.
You're in trouble, man.
We have to get it done.
You're underwater. You're under siege.
I mean, you can say anything. You're very nice with phrases, but...
I'm the phrase guy.
We must get what needs to be done. We must make painful decisions, and everybody must do their part.
Everybody must do their bit.
Yeah.
Governor Johnson, Sakaja Johnson, is in the house. He's taking your questions and comments at Koinange Jeff. Olive. At Olive Burrows. At Citizen TV, the hashtag is Sunday Live. Sunday Live takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.